Hello everybody and welcome back to a new reading vlog. It is now week 2 of the Owls, so we are already 1 week in, and if you have not watched my first week vlog, I'll link in the description below, but if you haven't, I have already finished a book and I'm obviously moved on to my second one, which is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This is completing the prompt for, I think it might be Defence Against the Dark Arts, and it's Grindylows, and it's for a book set by the sea/coast. Now that I'm actually into it and I'm reading it, I actually know why it fits that prompt, because we have our characters travelling by boat and across the sea quite a lot. I am about 180 pages through. The last time I updated in my last vlog, I was about 120 pages through, so I have read about 60 pages since. Apologies for any construction noise. Next door are kind of sorting stuff with the house. I'm on chapter 11, or just about to start chapter 11, and I am enjoying this a hell of a lot. I'm probably thinking like a 4.25 so far. It is very enjoyable and the characters are really great. I talked about this in my last vlog, saying how the characters are just brilliant. Monty can be a bit naive and ignorant sometimes about some of his privileges. Overall, the characters are great and they're just so much fun and just really strong characters. I'm just going to quickly go over what this book is about, as it's a new vlog. This book follows our main character Monty, and he's about to go on this kind of grand tour with his best friend and his sister across Europe before he kind of has to come home and be a man and take over the estate for his father. And we sometimes get flashbacks to Monty's childhood with Percy, and there was a really sweet moment in like a flashback where it just so shows how great of a friend Percy is. I would die for Percy. Like, I've already decided that. Like, I'm not even halfway through this book and I've already decided that I would die for Percy Newton. He's just such a good friend and such a good person. I did go through before in the last vlog all the trigger warnings for this book. We've got trigger warnings for alcohol abuse and consumption, racism, child abuse. One that's cropped up now is ableism, because we find out, I don't know if this is a spoiler, it shouldn't be a spoiler, Percy has epilepsy, and this is set during the 1700s, so back then. Felicity, Monty's sister, does kind of say that this is now the time that it's not been seen as someone being possessed by a demon, like it's now been seen as a medical thing, but that doesn't mean that people aren't still ableist against it and, you know, discriminating against people with epilepsy. We really get to see like such a strong character from Felicity, because we learn that she's really into medicine, and not just like really into it in the sense of, oh, she's fascinated by it, but that's what she wants to pursue. But obviously it's very hard for a woman at that time to want to go into medicine. Like, it just doesn't happen. I know that the second book is based around her. It'll be very interesting to see that and to read that from her perspective and really follow her journey into wanting to go into medicine in that time when women couldn't really. Percy is talking to Monty about his epilepsy, and he's saying how he's worried that he's going to have to go to like a mental asylum, because in the sense it's still seen as someone being crazy and someone being a bit insane if they've got epilepsy. It just really breaks my heart, because Percy's almost kind of come to terms with it, and even though Monty's like, this is all so new to me because he didn't know about it, and he's like, I know, I'm going to make sure you don't go to a mental asylum, like, you can't do that, that's just not going to happen. And Percy's just like, well, it's just gonna have to happen, like, I can't, there's nothing or no way around it, which just completely broke my heart, because I love Percy, as I've said. I was a bit curious to know what like the main plot point was gonna be of this book. I think we've delved into that, so I'm very excited to see how it goes, because it's kind of like a trope that I weirdly didn't really realise I love. Characters having to travel to places and maybe go into different like stops along the way to get to like a main goal. It's kind of like Percy Jackson, Miss Peregrine's sort of style, where it's like, oh, we've got this main mission and this person told us to go to this person and we have to go to this person, and usually that can get quite repetitive and sometimes annoying. I'm a sucker for that trope, and this is what something is cropping up in here, so I'm very excited for that. I don't know, I think it's because it's got a structure to it, and I like structure, but overall I'm definitely enjoying it and I cannot wait to continue reading. Just like last week's vlog, not much is going to be happening obviously over the week, because coronavirus, because quarantine, because isolation, so I'm gonna be at home most of the time. Most of these vlogs are just going to be like chatty little things. It kind of really sucks, because if all this coronavirus stuff wasn't happening and life was normal, these vlogs would probably be so much more exciting, because in just over a week I was going to see Timothée Chalamet in a play, and how amazing would have that been to film and to like vlog. Honestly breaks my heart that I've kind of almost just pushed that to the back of my mind, and it's only when I actually actively think about it, or I get re-reminded about it, that I'm like, that was meant to happen and now it's not, and it's kind of really sad. I've had so much stuff that's had to be postponed. Like, I had so much stuff coming up over the next few months, because it's like my last year at uni, that has just had to be postponed or cancelled, and it's really sad. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm gonna leave this here. This is a new vlog. We'll see where this one goes. I'll catch you all later. Hello everybody, it is Friday. And it's Friday, it's Good Friday. Happy Good Friday everybody. Happy Easter weekend everybody. I currently just have Pirates of the Caribbean running around in my head because last night I decided to kind of watch the last one, the fifth one. I don't know why I wanted to watch the fifth one. I think I wanted to get like emotionally wrecked by the ending and not really care about like the rest of the story, because the fifth one's like not great. It's better than the fourth, but it's not the best film. Obviously the first three, the first original trilogy is the better one, but number five, like the whole film I don't really care too much about. The only thing I care about is Will, and that's the main reason why I watch it, is for the ending. I've just been listening to the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack and I've just got all the songs in my head. I was tweeting about it and I would literally die on a hill for Pirates of the Caribbean, especially the original trilogy, especially for Will Turner. I'm here to update on The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. As you just saw in the previous clips, I was just doing some sitting down, chilling, reading. I think I was on page 160 or around that the last time I updated, so I've now read about 100 pages. I'm now on page 265. I think I'm still feeling the same about it. It's still really enjoyable. I can understand why some people think it's not really much of a plot. Like, there is a plot. I don't know. I kind of get what people mean, but at the same time I know that there is a plot.
The fuck does that mean?
It's not slow because I'm still really enjoying it and I'm still having a lot of fun. It's just very, you're cruising through. But if you like books like that, like sometimes when the characters are great, like I think I talked about this in my rapid fire book tag. I haven't put up yet, but it will be up by the time this video is up. I talked about how I enjoy characters more than plot, because if a plot is great but the characters aren't, I'm not going to be so invested. But if the characters are great and the plot is okay but not the best, I'm probably going to still enjoy it or still get some enjoyment out of it because of the characters. And I think that's why I'm enjoying this book so much, is because the characters are so great, and that even though the plot isn't like top notch and it is a little bit slow and it is a little bit like just cruising along, I'm still enjoying it because the characters are just so brilliant. One thing I have picked up on that has happened like throughout the book, or it's just like words or a singular word and some other words that are used throughout. Obviously some of them I can understand and they're like words that are probably more slang back then and just words used back then, but some of them I'm like, what does this mean? I think this one is like an exclamation sort of word, but Monty always says the word zounds. It's like sounds but with a Z. What does this word mean? Can see in the context that it's probably like an exclamation mark, because for an example he goes, zounds, it is beastly hot under this veil, but at the same time it would be nice to know what it means because I'm a little bit confused. I have tabbed a few green moments at the moment, which if you don't know, I obviously have a colouring system for my tabbing, and green is my kind of like not really enjoying that, or it's basically a bad moment. It's my opposite to pink, which my pink is my love moments. There've been a couple and I like Monty. I do like him. He is a good character to follow, but as I said previously in the vlog, or maybe at the end of last week's vlog, he is ignorant and he is naive and he doesn't remember some of his privileges, and he is just very ignorant to a lot of things, and a lot of the time he only thinks for himself. I know we are going from his perspective, but at the same time not everybody in them, when it's first person's perspective, thinks about themselves. So when they're talking about Percy's epilepsy, a lot of the time Monty like just talks about himself and he just kind of says, oh, I can't believe he didn't tell me. I can't believe that my best friend never told me that he's got this condition that back in that day is seen as demonic possession. He's just thinking about himself and he's not going like, oh, I can understand why Percy never told me. He's just been a bit selfish, and it does bug me, and I really hope he grows out of that, or he learns from that. Like I don't know how old he's meant to be, but I really hope he grows out of that because it is low-key bugging me. I think there's a scene where I'm not sure if they're going by boat or by road, but it's probably more by road because they're going from France to Spain. It's after they have learnt about, or Percy and Felicity have learnt about Monty being abused by their father or by his father, and then Percy's trying to like cheer Monty up and being really sweet to him, because Percy is just a brilliant character. I love him so much, and then he's just so brilliant, and I love him because he's just so sweet and so caring. Like he just goes, if I ever see your father again, I swear to God I'm going to knock him out. The next scene that just kind of like entails is just so precious. He's kind of trying to encourage Monty that like, you're not like your father, like you're not like him, you're a completely different person and you're a better person than him. And it's just like, Percy, I love you, I want to protect you. So those are all my updates. This book is really good and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm excited to keep reading, but I'm going to end this here because this clip's now over 10 minutes and I try not to have them too long, so then I don't have to edit too much and then they're not long in general. Even though it's Easter weekend, my family, or specifically my parents, we're not like a massive Easter celebrating people because we're not like religious or anything. Obviously now we can't really do too much within the house. Obviously we're going to just do normal family Sunday dinner. I keep wanting to be like, and yes, I'm going to be doing this, this and this, and this is what's coming up, but not much is coming up, and I think you expect that. But I'll wrap this up now because I'm rambling, and I will see you later. Hello everybody, it is Sunday. I didn't film yesterday just because I didn't really have anything to update with the book. I'm now on about page 400 of this book. Excuse me if I seem a bit out of it. My head's hurting a bit because I was just on my laptop for a bit and my head just started really hurting, so I had to kind of just take a break and step away. But I wanted to film this just because it's about like 20 to 4, so even though it's not like super late, I just kind of want to, you know, film in prime lighting. Since I last updated, I've read about 140 pages, which is really good, and I've now got less than 100 pages till I finish this, so I'm thinking maybe I'll either finish it tomorrow or maybe Tuesday. I don't think there's too much to update on. Most of the things are just either moments that I liked, how Monty talks about Percy and just kind of the relationship between Monty and Percy and how like cute they are. Going alongside the trigger warning for child abuse, it's kind of like trigger warning, I would say, for PTSD, because the child abuse that Monty has suffered kind of since he was a child and kind of throughout his life from his father kind of does follow him into his adult life, and now he's 18. I definitely think he's suffering from PTSD because he sometimes has like hears his dad's voice in his mind putting him down and calling him pathetic and stuff. It's trauma from what he experienced as a child. Again, just a really cute moment. I don't want to spoil it, but a really cute and just kind of like pivotal moment, I think, in Percy and Monty's relationship, which I was just there for, swooning over, just absolutely loving, and was just like yes, yes, yes. Definitely think I'm gonna probably have my rating a bit lower, because if you don't know how I rate my books, basically like every 50 pages I'll give a rating out of 5 of what that kind of 50 pages felt to me and what I would rate it if I was just rating that 50 pages, and then at the end I'll kind of add all that up and do an average, and that's how I get my rating. So far I've been giving it like 4.25, then it kind of went down for a 4, and I think the last kind of 100 pages really have been like 3.75s, just because the plot feels like it drags on quite a lot, and I feel like this book does drag on a bit. I think it is bigger than it needs to be. Like, it's 500 pages, but I just don't feel like it needs to be that long. I think it does get dragged out and is a bit longer and is a bit tedious than it needs to be, so that's the main reason why I've kind of lowered it a bit. But I think why it hasn't gone down a lot, it's kind of like what I said at the beginning of the vlog, is to do with characters. The characters are brilliant and really help me to enjoy the book more, I think, and enjoy the story more, and I can't think of the word right now. My mind is a mess right now, so I'm not going to try and come up with the word. The last kind of things I have tabbed are just either like one-liners or kind of moments that I thought weren't necessarily like the happy-go-lucky moments, but they were important moments that are a bit down. I don't really know the words. I'm not wording right now because my mind is frazzled. My brain really hurts, and it's all to do with, as I've spoken previously about this book, Monty's privileges and how he doesn't really see past the whole race thing, or he doesn't almost understand the whole race thing. Percy does point out to Monty saying, I have to deal with the fact that wherever I go people think I'm your manservant, and Monty just doesn't understand that for some reason. Even Felicity's just kind of saying to Percy, just like, he doesn't understand it, just leave him, just let it go. Then you kind of get a little bit from Monty, kind of, because it's from his perspective, kind of him being like, I don't see why it's such a big deal, and you're there as a reader going, I know this is back then, and I know he's grown up with Percy, he just sees Percy as his best friend, but he's got to understand where Percy's coming from, especially as they're in that time. I am excited to see how this is going to end. I'm going to leave this here so I can go have a nap, because my head is really it's hurting and I need to just rest. I think tonight I'm just going to have a chill night. I really shouldn't have filmed now because I can't even speak properly, but I will wrap this up here. I will probably see you tomorrow. I think I'm planning on baking tomorrow, so I'll try and remember to either do time lapses or that, or just film it in general. My head kills me, so I'm going to leave this here and I will see you all later. Hello everybody, it is Tuesday. Obviously I did kind of film yesterday, I just filmed me baking yesterday. I didn't update properly just because I was more concentrated on finishing Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I did. I finished it last night, so that's why I didn't update, because I kind of finished it with not enough time and not enough, you know, a bit later in the day to actually film. So I thought I'd just wait until today or this morning to film this vlog. I just feel like it's not going to be as upbeat and as good as last week's, just because whenever I go to film I'm just not really in the mood. As I said in the last talking clip, I was then currently having to deal with like a headache and my head really hurting, and I'm still having to deal with that the past couple of days. For some reason, just whenever I'm on my laptop, and I've been on it for a long time, which I can't escape because I have to do essays, I have to do work, I have to edit. Whenever I'm trying to do that, my head just starts really hurting. I have my glasses on, which technically I shouldn't wear. I don't need them. I went for an eye test at the end of last year or in summer last year or something, I think, and they were like, you don't need glasses. So technically I shouldn't wear them because they would damage my eyesight, because I don't actually need them, but they help my headaches. So I'm in a sticky situation. It's kind of getting me down because I've just, whenever I'm trying to be productive, my head starts hurting and it's not good. I don't know, I think my mood's just not been the best recently. But I've been baking. I baked carrot cake yesterday and it was very nice. I didn't vlog the result because I'd either forgot or just couldn't be bothered, but it was very nice. So I finished The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I feel like my mind won't let me do coherent thoughts, and I also don't want to talk too much about it just because I don't have the energy to. You know my thoughts, you know, I've talked about it throughout the majority of this vlog, or the whole of this vlog really, but I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it. I think the only reason why I didn't give it higher, or it wasn't like a perfect book, was just because the plot just did drag a bit and I felt like it was a bit too long. Overall, I think the characters were just fantastic, really, really enjoyable to follow. I had a lot of fun reading this book, and now I'm happy that I've read book 2 for the Owls, so I'll be moving on to book 3 out of 5. I'm now going to be moving on to Moxie by Jennifer Mathieu. This is obviously a bit different from the last 2 books I've read because this is about Vivian, who is kind of just fed up with the sexism and the misogynistic ways of her school, so kind of starts a movement to fight for women's rights, fight for feminism in her school, and I'm very excited just to change the mood and start and read a book about feminine power and feminism and just girl power. But I haven't started this yet, but I will be starting this today at some point. I think as time is going on, I am slowly getting more and more just sick of this routine and sick of doing nothing. Maybe I'm just having a few bad days and my mind's just really negative at the moment, but I'm just a bit sick of it. I did a video call and just played some online games with my friends yesterday, my friends from uni who I miss a lot. Sound like a broken record, but I keep wanting to say, oh yes, I'm going to be doing this later, but I'm going to be doing boring stuff like watching booktube and reading and editing like all day. That's all I'm going to do because I have nothing else to do. One thing I do need to do today, basically I think only in the UK there's a challenge going around on Instagram, you know, all these challenges that people are doing on Instagram stories, just a kind of bit of entertainment throughout this kind of dire time. The one of them that's going around now, I don't know what it's called, but it's like 555 or something like that. You have to run 5k, you have to donate £5 to help the NHS, and then you have to tag 5 more people. Don't know if you know, but I don't run. I'm asking me to run 5k. I would love to do it, but my body physically can't. Like, no, just like Chad says he doesn't dance, I don't run. Like, yeah, okay, he did dance, but I don't run. My friend tagged me in it and I'm like freaking out trying to find a way because I'm just not gonna run. Also, I live in a very hilly area, so I think I'm just gonna go for a 5k walk or kind of around that. I don't want to not do it because I still want to obviously donate £5. I don't want to chicken out of it and not do it because I just feel like a bad person going, oh, just because I don't run 5k I can't donate £5 to the NHS, blah blah blah. I haven't been out for a couple of days, so I think just going out, getting a walk will be good. I might, if I can remember to vlog that, I might go on my own just to clear my head. I don't know why I'm just in a down mood today. It's just I am. And it's frustrating. The only reason I'm vlogging is because obviously I finished a book and I'm going to start a new one, and also be coming to the end of this vlog, and I feel like this vlog is short and it's just like not much has happened, so I feel like I have to vlog. I'm going to leave this here and stop rambling. One of those days. Just one of those days, and I'll see you later. Hello everybody, it is Wednesday. I'm here to wrap up this vlog. I said at the end of the last clip that I was going to go for that walk to do that 5k thing yesterday, but yesterday ended up being quite a bad day. I was just not feeling great mentally, and I just had to take a day to just do what my mind wanted to do. It was one of those days where literally in the moment I just wanted to be in my bed and do nothing, but then when I got into bed I hated being in bed or hated not doing anything in bed, so I ended up putting Pretty Little Liars on, and then I found out that Pretty Little Liars is on Netflix until Saturday, and I was like, I'm only on season 2, and obviously I'm rewatching it, and I was like, oh god. So I ended up watching a lot of Pretty Little Liars yesterday while doing like a puzzle and reading and just having a chill day. I woke up this morning a lot better, so I didn't go on the walk yesterday, but I did it today. And it was just really nice, just going on a nice 5k walk. When I was on my walk, I was listening to true crime podcasts. What I really love about listening to true crime podcasts is if I'm walking while doing it, if I ever go back to the place I walked, I'll go, that was when I listened to that podcast, like I'll remember that podcast. There was this one case I was listening to and I was literally like, this is the most craziest case I've ever heard of. If you like true crime, they're always just those cases that you just go, and if you're used to it, you just kind of go, okay then, and then move on. I just got back from doing that, and I've just been doing a little bit of editing, watching some booktube and reading, which you saw. I'm currently on about page 90 of Moxie, and I'm really enjoying it so far. At first it took me a little bit to get into it, and there was one kind of like moment I tabbed that I found that sometimes, which I don't really notice it now, but sometimes I felt or I saw that there were sentences was really long. Like there was one big paragraph and it was only 2 sentences. I'll read you an example because it'll be a lot easier.
And by that I mean when I was in the 5th grade we made it to the state championships, but we lost, and people still talk about that day more than they talk about the fact that one of the first astronauts to fly around in space was born right here in East Rockport.
That's one sentence, and then the next sentence is,
on Fridays in the fall, class feels like an excuse to legally require us to come to school so we can admire the football players' lockers decorated with orange and white crepe paper streamers and attend the mandatory prep rally before lunch and participate in the call and response cheers and observe Mitchell Wilson and his crew walking down the hallways at the second coming of Tom Landry and Earl Campbell.
I'm reading it being like, oh my god, okay, that's a lot. Can you just breathe? After a while that either stops or I just haven't noticed it. Apart from that little bit, I've been having a great time. I'm just going to go into the plot a bit more because I didn't really give too much of a deep discussion on it yesterday. This follows our main character Vivian, and she's lived in this like small town in Texas like her whole life, and most of the people who live in that town have those people who've lived there since they were born, and the school she goes to, the football team, is very much the centre of attention, and everyone goes to the games. Everyone idolises these football guys or thinks they're the best people ever, and you know, they are the top tier popular people. But what Vivian and a lot of the other girls at the school are sick of, the casual sexism that's rife in their school. For example, if a girl puts forward an opinion in class, the guys might be like, oh, make me a sandwich, won't you? Which is one of the biggest kind of like lines and kind of the most well-known lines that one of the football guys says. And Vivian decides that she's had enough, and her mum used to be a very, back in her day in like the 80s, used to be a very feminist, girl power sort of teenager, young woman. Vivian, even though she's not really a very confident person, takes it upon herself to create these zines, as she calls them, so a kind of like leaflet sort of things that she prints out that kind of being like, girls, are you sick of this? Like, we need to stop this, like we need to stand up for this. If you want to stand up for this and you want to be a part of this, on Friday draw stars and hearts on your hands to kind of show an alliance and to show we're all in this together. And she puts these stuff in the bathrooms. Because she's quite a quiet and reserved person, she's very worried and that no one's going to do anything about it. It's just going to be like knocked away, or she's not very confident in what's going to happen about it. I can really relate to Vivian. There are so many moments throughout that I'm just like, that's me. She's one of those girls that says, I'm much more experienced with fantasy boyfriends than actual boyfriends, and I'm like, hello, that is me. I would like to sign my name here to say that this is me. And there's a moment where she says, I'm a girl who studies for tests, I'm a girl who turns in homework on time, I'm a girl who tells her grandparents she'll be over in 5 minutes and sharp in 3. That last bit is me to a T. I'm not that person who is very casual. I'm a structured, predictable person, you could say, and that's very much what Vivian is, and I just feel like I'm going to relate to Vivian so much, and I love that. There's already been girls supporting girls in this, and I'm just so happy. It makes me so happy seeing girls supporting girls and having conversations where girls aren't putting each other down, aren't having to fight, and are just supporting each other, and it's great. And there is also a romantic element within this because there's a guy that Vivian likes. He's a very mysterious guy because he's a new guy, not many people know much about him because he's from out of town. He seems like he's going to hopefully be a great character and he's going to be an ally, hopefully. I'm very excited to see where this goes, and it's a short one, but I just know it's going to be so good and I'm going to have so much fun reading it. So I'm wrapping up this vlog here. Obviously I finished another book in this vlog. I finished The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and I'm very happy I did because that was my, no, I don't think it's my biggest one. No, it might be actually. I think it might be bigger than A Heart So Fierce and Broken. So I think I've got my biggest book out the way, which is good. I can move on to maybe a little bit, just a little bit more smaller books. But now that I'm moving on to Moxie and I'm having so much fun reading this book, I'm very excited to see where it goes. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you are new around here, do not forget to subscribe, like this video, click my notification bell to know when I next post. At the moment, while I'm doing Owl's weekly reading vlogs, I'm kind of posting a couple of times a week, but probably once the Owls are over, I'll go back to doing weekly videos with maybe a vlog in the week if I do or if I want to. This one's been in a bit up and down vlog, as I've already noted, but editing wise it hasn't been too bad, so I hope it was enjoyable anyway. But I'm going to leave this here so I can go and edit this clip to get ready to put this video up tomorrow, and I will see you all in my next video.